All right, guys, we're back. Hello. Thanks for watching. Basically nothing for half an hour into 2 minutes of commercials. That's appreciated, I guess.
Amazing.
So before we get into this series, again, it's going to be Zest versus BreaKIngGG. So ZVP. The whole group today is either going to be ZVP, PvP, or ZVZ. I do want to talk a little bit about, I guess, other things. First off, we have nothing else we're casting today. It's actually going to be a rather humdrum, dreary day for BaseTradeTV. We got so much casting that's been going on. It's almost a bit of a relief to have a bit of a break, because coming up soon is going to be Make Korea Great Again. But as I said during the Corsair Cup, and I'm going to advertise again now, everything we're doing this week is pretty much all Korean time zones. So, like, if you're waking up now to cast and you're like, or to watch the cast, and you're like, God, I hope they're not doing it again tomorrow at this time, I've got some bad news for you. And then, of course, the following day after that, and so forth. It's just the way the schedule thing worked out. We are going to have a bit of a hiatus, though. It looks like this weekend coming up, we're just not going to have anything to cast. Shellcraft's going to be going on. I guess WCA is starting up. We could really kill ourselves by trying to make something, but honestly, a day off would be great, because we've been casting every single day since we got back from Korea, which was the 20th? No,
Yeah,
earlier than that even, because...
sometimes double days.
Yeah. So actually, I'm on the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then tomorrow will be 17, 18, 19. So yeah, about 20-ish days straight worth of casting. I would not mind taking the weekend off, and we probably will take the weekend off.
Yeah.
That being said, IEM starts up on the 14th. We do have a couple of hiccups around this next... So not this week, not the rest of this week, but next week we have some hiccups that I wanted to discuss with the stream while we're on downtime. The number one thing is the Corsair Cup is going to be playing out 3 hours earlier than normal this coming Monday, so the next Corsair Cup will be starting 3 hours earlier than normal, 7 a.m. Pacific instead of 10 a.m. Pacific. This is to compensate for the fact that Zombie Grub and I have some very important things we have to do later in the day, and we wouldn't be able to do if Corsair started when it normally did. I still think we're going to get good games. I still think we're going to get great signups, all of that goodness. But just letting people know. Then the Yord finals will be taking place the day before Korea, although I'm now being made aware that apparently that may have to move on account of the fact that IEM Korea starts at, I think, 4 p.m. that same day.
Thursday. Correct.
It starts Thursday Korea time, which would be Wednesday evening America time. So... I don't want to do the Yord finals into a 12-hour cast potentially.
Yeah.
So we may end up
fair.
We may end up shuffling that around. I think it'd be safe to do it the day before, but we're going to have to confirm and check. Either way, it's a little bit light on this next week, but then after that we're going to be back with the Corsair Cups and regular timed regular stream programs and all that goodness. But for me, the biggest reason to talk about this is because it's around the same start time. We're going to Make Korea Great Again #2 happening in 3 days. Or in 2 days, excuse me. And I really want you guys to come turn out for that. It's been the first one was fantastic. I think we peaked at 4,000 viewers, which was awesome. We had a lot of really great signups. Innovation Classic Finals. Oh, amazing. And I want to replicate that. I want to see that again. So I hope you guys will come back for it. But looks like my filler time is almost good to go. We're just being invited to the game now. Devin Wolf cheers 100 bits and says, "Don't overwork yourself, Rifkin." That's the plan, bro. Oh, he also resubbed for 26 months in a row. Thank you so much.
Yeah, right. So, about the WCA thing, right? So,
I saw Scarlett's tweet. What was that about? I never saw the follow-up to it.
for a while, the Wikipedia was the only information anyone in the public got about the dates, and that was actually during IEM Korea, which would have made no sense. So it turns out it was this weekend. Well, apparently, at
This
least
weekend, like 2 days, 3 days from now weekend.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know about anyone else. All I know is one person said something about getting flight plans, but not anything else. But Scarlett definitely did not. She got the flight info yesterday in an email and no visa information. And you have to get a visa before you go to China. So she just can't go to China. She like, can't get a visa that soon.
I
But
feel
I have
like
no idea if like any other players have gotten their visas.
WCA, from what I understand, the reputation of not paying players out and all this, it's not run very well. And my concern is that a lot of players were kind of joking about whether they even wanted to go in the first place. So while this may suck for Scarlet, I'm wondering how much it actually sucks for Scarlet, you know? Like, maybe it's actually one of those like blessings in disguise. You didn't go and you didn't waste all this
It
time
might
only to
be.
not get paid later.
Yeah, apparently she really likes China, and if they do pay, that was like a ton of money. If you just like won like one series, but
I
that's
wish
a
I
bit
could just spend
suspicious.
5 minutes with whoever's in charge of WCA and be like, look, let me help you clean your shit up. Like, give us the casting and we'll do all this other stuff for free just to make you get your crap together.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So I actually have no idea what's happening with WCA. We'll find out.
Well, the game is finally starting. It looks like we've bought more than enough time to be getting into a game with Zest. Ooh.
Oh boy.
This is where, like, gotta start paging Flotch and Cat and all the Zest fans we know. But okay, we are getting into game number one. Spawning here in the bottom left side of Daybreak, we've got the light blue Zerg. It's BreaKIngGG.
In the top right, as the blue Protoss, he is Zest.
Okay, so Zest has been doing some really cool stuff versus Zerg. And I don't mean cool in terms of like, oh my god, he's so innovative. He's doing like disruptor rushes. No, he's doing what everyone else is doing. He's going for Dark Templar, he's doing drops with the Archons, but he's doing a step before and in between where he's actually using the Dark Templar and his Warp Prism micro capabilities to deal what looks to be unstoppably devastating damage to a lot of Zerg players. I hope we get to see more of that in this series. I think it's disgusting in the terms that it can end the game so quick, but it's also really cool watching Zest's micro with the Warp Prism.
I don't want to like be like super BM or anything, but the last time we saw Zest, what and like when we saw his DT usage, it did feel like he just was like so confident against his opponent. That's like one of the reasons he even tried. I don't remember who the opponent was, to be honest.
I would agree with you if I didn't get to see Showtime do this in 2 different tournaments now, where he was emulating the same thing, going with the DTs, do damage with micro, then pull back and Archon it, mode it up. I think that it's a totally valid strategy, and it just, unfortunately, you're right, like I can't remember who it was either, but it was a bit of a one-sided matchup, like we're gonna be honest.
Yeah, it was.
For that reason, looks a little bit silly and like maybe a troll build, but I actually think it's got a lot of merit, and I love that you kind of get to use that timing rather than just muck around with the Archons.
No, my point wasn't that it was a troll build, but I think that it does require a lot of confidence to actually do that much damage with it, which I think is going to happen again here, was kind of my ultimate point. So Zest is probably the favorite to win the group overall, but of course he's going to be contending with Hero, I guess, for maybe first and second. I really don't think these Zergs have a chance, you know? That's that might be a little mean.
What's funny is I think balance-wise, Zerg, I think, has a chance here. Balance-wine, I think Zerg has a chance here. But you're right. It's StarCraft nowadays really is so much more about the player than the race in a lot of situations. And Zest and Hero are certainly the players.
Well, I do expect to see a Dark Shrine coming down. Well, you know, of course, once Twilight Council is also put down. Breaking, he might have lost. He lost, right? He might have lost that ZVZ. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve for ZVP. As you're talking about the balance of the races, maybe he knows how to abuse his race. So far, you know, simple things going down for Zerg players. I mean, he's the type to get the fast Overlord speed, which a lot of Zergs seem to be doing recently anyway, like almost all Zergs, and that third base. And there is that Twilight Council for Zest.
Well, we'll see how quickly the Dark Shrine kicks off. I think that one way or the other, if you're not, like, even if you're not going to do the really cool moves that I'm nerding out about, like with the DTs, the Archon drop themselves, they just provide so much pressure. And while they might not kill a lot of drones in a lot of those instances, they do force out a lot of lings, a lot of roaches. They force you to not drone, so inadvertently killing drones, I suppose. Aborting the drones, for a better lack of words.
Wow.
Was that edgy? I don't feel like that was edgy. I feel like that's just descriptive.
Yo, I checked the Team Liquid thread again. for Make Korea Great Again.
Oh man, that's been a real
I
amazing
did not
show.
realize that the mods had come in there and talk about politics.
They
Oh my god!
they put a sticky. I was
You know
like,
me,
wow.
like everyone at this point knows me, like from like jokes or just like straight talk or whatever. But like I'm pretty liberal, and I know a lot about like Tumblr, and you see where I'm going with this. But that guy in the Team Liquid thread, like holy, I was like, okay, yeah, like that's a good reason I don't want Trump to be president. But Jesus, like calm down.
Yeah.
That was insane.
There's other things to be said about it. Let's save that for some of the downtime. We do have the links dropping into the main right now. BreaKIngGG. It's going to catch Zest a little bit off guard. Zest has no vision of this. He actually sees the links running south. But here we go in the main. It's not a full drop either. No banelings with this. So a little bit light-hearted on the drop, so to speak. But he's going to pick off some probes for it. One so far.
Ah. I mean, Zest is actually, like, reacting pretty harsh to this. Only using his probes, because I guess he can't get anything else down there. His Mothership Core was taking her sweet time coming back to the main base, and the warp ins are all saved for the DTs, and he almost loses the warp prism right off the bat.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad start for this and takes away from the potential for the Archons later. I think that if he didn't have to focus at home, he would have done a lot more with his drops. So in a small way, BreaKIngGG, he didn't kill a lot in the main, but he may have saved himself a lot at home just because Zest was looking elsewhere instead of focusing on this super slick micro that I was so ready to get excited about. He did pick off one of the queens with the DTs, which was kind of nice, but looks like this isn't going to be about harass. Maybe a little bit more with Zealots get warped in too. Wow.
Yeah, he did. He has 4 gateways, not like 3 in an expansion. He actually has 4, and if he saw an opportunity to pressure, it was totally within him to do so. Again, it really sucks the Warp Prism took so much damage, because if that is target fired, that is just the end of the attack, most likely.
But it's not going to be hard to push.
Without the +1, I don't think he can take care of all the Zealots.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a wall of Zealots, just literally 2 Archons still. I don't think you get close enough to that Warp Prism if Zest is doing this correctly, and Zest is doing this very correctly. He's only lost 1 Adept. That was earlier on. He's lost nothing in this fight. Not a single Zealot, not a single Archon. GG. Zest takes game number 1. Albeit, I think not too surprisingly.
No, but BreaKIng had a almost moment there, like almost brilliant with the denial and the Warp Prism. That was like 2 more queen shots, and then you just stop the harassment and the attack, so could have been.
Well, as we load out of the game, my game crashes. This is an amazing start to the night. I gotta say,
StarCraft's trying for you, man. They waited till the end of the game to crash.
Right? Yeah. Chugga. Okay, so back on the Team Liquid thread topic for a moment. I feel like I understand the fear-mongering. The media certainly doesn't help. I understand the difference in opinion that has to do with Trump being president and all of these other things. But I feel like I don't know how to phrase this that's not going to get me in trouble, but I feel like until Trump does something bad, in my opinion, everyone's overreacting. He's putting in position not the greatest people. I get it. You don't like that. He's got policies that you don't agree with. Again, I like that. I respect that. I'm not saying they're good versus bad, but I am saying he has technically done no wrong yet, and I'm not trying to advocate for him. But to see people get so ready to just be like, we need the revolution before it's too late, for me, it's just like, okay, maybe calm down a little bit. Take a step back.
I don't know if I agree with all of that necessarily.
Well,
my issue is more or less like it's the difference between a meme and actual action against a president you don't like. It's like the difference between the Team Liquid thread and real life politics.
I'm going to try relogging. It's not letting me join with this. So, come on, StarCraft. I know you can work. We were doing stuff not even 12 hours ago. Come on, baby.
Oh, gosh. I don't want a solo cast, man.
I don't want to make you solo cast, man. This is however, I don't know a way around it. Because this has nothing to do with me running XSplit. This has nothing to do with me lagging or needing to be on a different VPN. This is just straight up StarCraft is bugging out, and I got no idea as to what. I'm not even tabbing out. Normally I'm tabbed out like half the time. My hands are like, you guys can see, they're off the keyboard. I clicked accept from Zombie Grub, and now I'm waiting to join the lobby. And I'm hoping nothing breaks on the way to that lobby.
Okay.
My hands are still in the air. I'm not touching anything till we're loaded into the game. You
Maybe
guys...
we won't put you in the party.
Maybe. The sounds are muted. I don't know why. I can't unmute them while my hands are in the air, guys. The countdown has begun. I'm not even gonna like, the load screen. I can't tab out to swap scenes. We're gonna just sit and wait. Zest is using the diva portrait. God damn it, Zest.
It's probably using the diva sound thing too.
Oh, we can check. We can check once we're in game.
Innovation was. Someone else was too yesterday.
Okay, we're in game. I'm gonna tab in. I'm gonna hope nothing breaks. Let's get into it. Game number 2. Spawning here in the bottom left side of the map, he is none other than the Red Protoss player Zest.
In the bottom right has the Teal Zerg. He is BreaKIngGG.
All right, my mouse just freaked out. That's not a good sign. Let's cue into Zest though, guys. Let's find out what voice pack he's using. Because if you don't know, if you spectate a player like this, you'll hear their alerts. Oh, it's default. Lame? Boo!
Interesting.
What about BreaKIngGG?
Yesterday.
No, go on. You can talk. I'm just waiting to hear myself.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say yesterday's stats was definitely using the diva sound. And Innovation was too. I was watching a replay with Innovation.
So I'm having what I'm gonna call is the icing effects, where when I'm scrolling with my mouse, it's going a lot further than I'm trying to scroll it. This is
like the ice is like
it's like slippery to observe. Like
okay.
I am not moving it this far, guys. You can see how fast it's moving. So we're in game, but it's still broken. I love it. Let's see. I'm not even getting that bad ping. 200 ms to Korea is actually kind of average. 100 to 200 seems to be what normal is, quote unquote. So I don't know. Enjoy the slippery, slidey things, I guess. I'm not listening to the voice pack. I don't care what BreaKIng's using. Moving on from that point, though, Zest had a very clean kill. Like, that was like a surgical kill in game 1, where, again, he lost nothing for that attack. The only units he lost the entire game were 2 probes, one to the Lings and one that was scouting, as well as the Adept that had scouted. The Zealots lived, the Archons lived, the War Prism lived, and they slaughtered. And that was so unfortunate for BreaKIngGG, because not that he, like, wasn't prepared in terms of not having units. We saw him. We saw the War Prism, we saw the Dark to deal with Zest at that point, and I feel like it's gonna be on him if he makes that same mistake again. This is where Overlord's speed, this is where scouting really pays off.
Well, he did anticipate that. He did get Overlord speed last time. He started around this point in time too, I believe. Let's see if he does. But it just was a situation of, like, if you're gonna depend on Lings, then you're gonna need to get much better positioning and, like, actually stop the War Prism, and then get to ban Lings too. Like, just Lings basically is going to cut it, unless you can just stop the attack full force. So, it's like pretty much questionable to just try and rely on Lings, but a lot of people do. Well, Lings and Queens, of course.
I'm trying to be... I am doing the observer equivalent of tiptoeing slowly on the ice. I'm clicking on the minimap in precise spots instead of dragging, because when I drag, it goes across the map. This is a little bit funny to me, but a little bit hysterical in terms of I'm going crazy, so my apologies, guys. I do want to point out, though, Zest is doing this almost tower defense level of mazing with his buildings that he did in game number 1. I was going to bring it up, but then the DTs kind of hit hard, but Zest had like a 2-layered wall with a skinny hallway between it. Same thing kind of happening now. And this actually reminds me a little bit of when we saw Starbow be a thing. We saw a lot of those weird gateway hallways in cities. Do you remember those?
I do. I don't remember what the map was, but I remember it.
Well, it happened on a couple different maps. So the point is, I find this strange for a couple of reasons, but what I love about it is if Zest is really anticipating his opponent playing heavy with Lings, Okay, there's still going to be weaknesses through this side of the wall, but having 2 layers of a wall and this many extra spots to warp it in Adept or put a force field down, it gives you a lot of extra time to defend with. I can't say that this is going to be strategically the most amazing thing to do, but I personally like it. I think it's got a lot of cool potential as far as defensive setup goes.
Sure.
But the Dark Shrine finishes up, and the Warp Prism heads out across the map. I think we know what to expect.
Yeah, but this time Breaking has gone for a Roach Warren and a faster lair, which I don't know if that's really going to help him, but the Roach Warren should be able to help a little bit. That range against the Archons and the Zealots can now be kited. I mean, he could have added on a Baneliness earlier and also tried to do it, but then there's a chance the Archon just soak up all the Banelings that you can get. So I think Grudges are the safest way to go.
I think they are too. The Spore Crawler finishes up. There's going to be detection. He could actually pick off the Roach Warren if he really wanted to right now. And I think, yeah, Zest realizes this too. There's no Overseers. That Spore Crawler's out of position. If he uproots it, it's going to die.
Luckily, that's where the Overseer is supposed to come in with a faster layer, but he didn't really start it as soon as possible, so...
Oh, man.
Not so lucky about the fast layer.
Well, I will say, what's nice is he did manage to squeeze out a couple more Roaches before it went down. He's got more than enough to deal with the initial 2 Archons, or even the DTs, but unfortunately, if Zest is going to warp in additional units like he did last game, it might not be so easy for BreaKIngGG. But we do see Zest taking a 3rd back at home.
Yeah, actually macroing out of this. So Breaking is going to transition to, or add on, Hydralisk as well as more Roaches. But Zest is probably going to have a pretty scary follow-up. He didn't follow up with the Zealots being warped in. He didn't see an opportunity like he did last game. But he is looking to be in a great position on 3 bases. More gateways coming down. He'll probably be able to pump out +1 as well as his Blink. And a push would be difficult for Breaking to survive. We've been seeing a lot of actual Blink Stalker pushes, coupled with a couple of Archons as well.
Well,
and these ones should...
Okay, I was going to say, I do hope that we do see enough Hydras to defend this, though. I would love to see this not be a quick game for Zest, and to see Breaking actually hold on. Right now, it's just cleaning up Creep Tumors, maybe pick off an Overlord or Stragglers. There's really not a lot to be too scared of for Breaking, but again, so much of what he has is like still on deck and not actually out ready to play just yet.
Well, at least Breaking has gotten to a good drone count. These last 4 will actually be pretty perfect, and he will have the upgrades for the Hydralisk by the time Zest feels comfortable pushing. These Archons have not been doing very much, but they've been something to keep tabs on the Zerg player, as well as just the Warp Prism is living. That's like first and foremost. He'll be coming with the attack later. And Zest is almost at his perfect economy too. He's got 64 probes. He could probably stop there, but he might go up to 70. And Breaking... Actually, I mean, he's good in all that he's getting all his upgrades and his Hydras, and his army's looking good too, but he will also want a 4th if he actually plans on playing like a macro game here. There it is, but unfortunately when you take the 4th on Newkirk, either this is the 3rd or the 4th, some players have been taking it to the far north, but the point is, now you put yourself in a very dangerous position for force fields, and even without force fields, if you have to run back to defend that base, you're still kind of like forcing yourself into more of a choke. So unless you're prepared where he is right now all the time, you will actually have a very difficult time saving this. So Zest might try and actually get the army to maneuver to the north for like the Warp Prism, which it almost killed. Like that would have been really nice for Breaking, but not quite.
I will say Breaking, when you brought up the topic of income, I went over the graph, and he still was kicking ass, like really taking leads over Zest, but I think that's something you expect Zerg to do. Problem is the army... Well, the numbers are good. The type might just be better. There's actually so many Hydras here. If he breaks these force fields, hell, even if he doesn't, the Hydras with 7 range can shoot over them, let's be honest. The Mortals only have 6 range, guys. Hydras very technically outrange Immortals. So if you're going to force field these units off, it's not necessarily going to stop them from attacking. There's not a real Colossus here. I think Zest was kind of hoping that the fake one would scare BreaKIngGG back, but he's not showing any fear. He's still pushing with the assault.
It was a pretty bad start for Zest. He actually gets a time warp down. I don't think Breaking can break Zest defensively, but I think he's got a better shot than any other game we've seen so far against Zest. So Zest actually goes to meet him, which is a little bit questionable. You know, he's using a lot of those force fields. He already lost a couple of sentries, losing a couple more. But maybe this will just be good enough defensively. They do end up cutting like a couple of units off, but as you were talking about over the force fields, they're so shooting over the force fields, getting the Immortal, getting the Stalkers.
I mean, The problem isn't the force fields can't keep the Hydras back. It's that you can't attack. Like, they can outrange. They outrange everything here. Even if it was a Colossus, it wouldn't have extended thermal lance. The Hydras would outrange it. It's so
I think
so
Zest just
silly.
lost.
I think Zest
I think
just. I agree. I think this is just too far gone. It's 18 army supply to 76.
It was definitely a little bit of underestimating his opponent, but it was also just talking about like BreaKIngG actually being in position to receive Zest's attack. If he's in the middle of his third and his fourth and has to respond, force fields go down alongside the hatchery, and the hatchery's dead, and Zest just like pulls back at that point and says, okay, I'll just defend from now on. And during that time, he would have like tried to start his transition to Colossus, probably. But no, the army was there to meet him and immediately like started things off right. GG.
It's very impressive out of BreaKIngGG to tie it up. But also, for me, I sit here and I'm just like, balance complaints.
Right?
Well, I'm hoping nothing breaks. We're going to go to a small commercial break. Well, I guess that's going to break. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Hilarious. Alright guys, we're back just in time for you to hear some beeps as we get into Von Eye Research Station. It's map number 3. So here's a fun story, Zombie Grub. I did a bad thing today.
Did you?
I woke up. I was expecting to wake up at probably like maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock my time in anticipation of this cast. I woke up at 10 minutes to midnight my time and realized I don't actually have any food in the house that I'm able to eat. So I, in haste, ordered a pizza. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have ordered a pizza of all things. But now I've got cold pizza next to me. And I'm pretty looking forward to it, even though it's gonna be so bad for me to eat. Like,
I need to find a pizza place like we found when I was hanging out at the On Fire house, and just put it in the fridge.
cold pizza is the bomb diggity. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3. Things are now tied up 1-1, and in the bottom central spawn location, we do have the light blue Zerg BreaKIngGG.
In top position has the blue Protoss. He is Zest.
So, speaking of likes and dislikes, we had a big do you like this and do you like that session on stream with Pig earlier, finding out that he that Pig likes black licorice. He likes raisins. Ugh. I know you're fine with raisins. I don't like raisins. But we kept finding all these things he liked that I couldn't stand until we arrived on pineapple on pizza, and he is on team no pineapple.
Well, he's wrong. It's fine.
I mean, is he wrong, or maybe just consider the possibility that you're wrong?
Me, Scarlet, and Rapid Casting were all having a similar conversation where we just could not agree on things that like everyone liked. It'd be like 2-1 on a 2, like we just couldn't agree on it. And then finally Scarlet was like, pineapple and pizza, yes, no, and we all said yes. And we were like, that's the thing we agree on.
Cool. Well, it's good to know Scarlet will be banned from BaseTradeTV events going to 2017, and luckily I'll never be back to Courtesy Rapid Casting, so that just leaves you as the only problem remaining.
I will order pizza in like one of the convention hotel rooms we go to next year. I'll be like, it's gonna be delicious, Rifkin. Like, trust me, I got this.
You'll like blindfold me. Like, you're like, trust me.
Large pizzas that all have pineapple on it.
I will say, by the way, regardless of like likes and dislikes, I do find it hilarious that for some reason, like line drawn in the sand with pineapple on pizza with people. And I mean, I'm part of this. I don't understand the phenomenon, but it is such an extreme detail for people. Like those who don't like pineapple on their pizza really don't like pineapple. I've never seen someone who said like, you know what, I don't really like it, but I could eat it. Like, it's always been very much like I love pineapple or I hate pineapple. No in between.
Yeah. Well, I feel a lot of the reason people don't like pineapple pizza is because the juices, and I absolutely agree. Like, no one likes soggy pizza in the first place, and when it's like sweet soggy pizza, like that is gross.
That's why you gotta put it in the oven, not the microwave, when you reheat it too.
Yeah, exactly, that too. But you know, good pineapple pizza actually doesn't have all that sogginess. Just saying.
Okay, well, the Adept for Zest is going to get a bit of scouting. Didn't transfer fully into the base, and I don't believe he saw the natural. No, he did actually see it with the probe scout earlier. Take that back. Same tricks, same tactics, though. Dark Shrine coming down. I really got to say, too, I kind of forgot in the heat of the battle, like, BreaKIngGG had lost his Roach Warden so early. I was so concerned he was going to take more damage early on from Zest. That was actually a little bit more impressive than just simply Balance Wine Hydralisks that won that game, because that was a big concern, I think.
Yeah, he actually did like a very good game. What is always so worrying for anytime you watch a Zerg player is not that they take that direct damage, like, oh my god, 20 drones went down, but that you think everything's like not so bad, and then suddenly you realize they were stuck at 46 drones because they were paranoid instead of actually playing the pace of the game that you should be. And Breaking, once he denied the War Prism or sent it back, actually didn't play the fear game. He wasn't afraid that Zealot attack would come in and destroy him. He knew his roaches were enough. And he was able to max accordingly.
What's going to be a little bit unfortunate is Zest did delay the Mothership Core in favor of getting the faster Dark Shrine and Robo. Because of this, he doesn't have anything out ready to stop these links, and it's a little bit scary with that pylon already getting so low. Zest is already preparing to wall in more behind this, but I think the overcharge in the Mothership Core should be able to push this back. Definitely got a bit scary, though. We got Burrow on the way, which I think is actually going to be pretty fantastic. If you want to stop Zest from chasing around your drones, hide him where you can't see him.
Yep. Okay, he's going to have to kill his own pylon. That kind of sucks. But the War Prism has built those ETs. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That was like a prison shank. That was ridiculous. Comes on, he's going to absolutely gank the other queen, too. The Spore Crawler won't finish. You can focus it if you wanted to.
Breaking actually messed up a lot here. He was so busy thinking he was going to do some work with those lings, he forgot to build Spore Crawlers.
Yeah.
And last game, of course, he had that Roach Warren and the lair almost already done. The roaches are okay now on the way, but the lair isn't almost done, so he doesn't have Spore Crawlers, doesn't have detection. He just messed up in a huge way.
The one Spore Crawler in the main might even go down, too. Like, Zest just warped in Zealots. He's ready to fight. He's not ready to trade. This is, always give me the DTs can fall back, of course, but, man, the thing is, DTs, okay, you can see them. Great. Can you kill them? Not necessarily. Not when they're dealing this much damage back to you.
Yeah, especially if any Warp Prism Micro comes in effect here. There we go now, but he should want to pick up the DTs to turn into Archons. Then, yeah, he could probably return later with Zealots, but now that he's seen the Roaches, he might just, macro and come back later.
Look at the resources lost, by the way. 10 drones is pretty fantastic, but he got so many lings, 20 lings, a couple of queens to go with this. All kinds of messy. Thank you to Tammy Lovato, RV, Red Vipers, XDD Lovato. Thank you so much for the sub, man. Good to see you. How you been? Long time no see.
Sub. All right, so double Archons now. We'll probably get some good shots at least the lings. Still Dwarf Prism alive. This game for Zest is going to look very similar to last game. He's going to get a third base. He's going to get the economy up. I mean, I'm surprised I don't see a forge already, but kind of similar. It's Breaking who's now going to not be able to afford going to Hydralisk. He's not going to be ready to receive the push like he was last game. He's still going to be recovering.
That was pretty scary, the War Prism. Down to 15 health, but did get the Archons out. Ready to harass a little bit more, maybe? He might just fall back entirely. I mean, following this up with a push that has, 6 to 7 sentries, in this case 8, Immortals, Adepts, more Archons. I mean, you'll see like maybe 3 Archons, 4 Archons to match this. I'm just surprised there's not that many Immortals already out.
Well, I'm surprised that Zest didn't go for at least Blink. So I saw that he didn't go for a Forge, but to not get Blink either, I guess, is really speeding up his follow-up attack. I think he was also, he managed to get up to like 67, 68 probes last game, but he stopped at 55 here. Okay, no, there he goes again. But I think the point still is that he wants to attack a little bit sooner, as he's already pushing out on the map.
I think the goal here was hit before Hydras are really ready to go, and that timing is looking to be pretty sweet. Big warp into the natural base. A lot of Zealots pairing up with this. The Queen's already gone down. Nothing to shoot this Warp Prism out of the sky. Drones, run for your life. Burrow, boys, you got... No, he canceled Burrow. Never mind. Rip and pepperonis.
Well, it wasn't the worst idea to try and recover, but things aren't looking too great. Queens aren't even coming over here to kill the War Prism.
I like the fake Colossus. It's a little bit spooky, but it's a high priority target. Shots may be wasted on it. It can soak a lot of hits, too. He could snipe off the Overseers and maybe go for some more DTs. He's going to get the Overseer either way. Drones get pulled. Zealots still going strong. Zest still not losing more than the initial 5 Zealots from the previous attack. I'm not exaggerating. He's literally losing nothing right now on either side of this 2-pronged attack. GG's get called. And when Zest wins, he wins hard.
No, super surprised. I feel like that was a series where Breaking was like, oh my god, like, I just won a game. Like, holy shit. He kept thinking about it like the next game, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I messed up." He did not look the same person as you did in the second game in the series. Oh well.
Well, next up, I think it's another Zest match, right? What's the order?
Zest versus Silky.
Okay, I think this one's going to be a little bit closer, but we'll still... I want to say, like, for Zest, it's not going to be about innovative plays or crazy differences. I don't think we're going to see him often decide to just, on a whim, go carriers, but instead a lot more of, like, the continued DTs, Warp Prism, the practice builds, the tried builds, what have you. But we'll pop off to a commercial break while the lobby gets set up. I would like to thank you guys for joining us. This one will be a much higher caliber Zerg player versus Zest. After that's the PvP that I personally have been super stoked and waiting for with Hero versus Zest. So stick around, guys. More of the LeiFeng Cup Group D when we're back.